Hey, what up, everybody? AJ here. I don't know what in the world is going on with the YouTubes. I posted something saying that I was tired, and it looks like when I set the time, it set the time to um, Central, and it was supposed to be 6 p.m. Eastern. And I don't know, it just messed up my schedule. And I had posted something saying I wasn't gonna do a stream today because I was tired. But a bunch of people called, and I was just like, wait a minute, why is everybody calling? And I'm like, oh, so my bad. My apologies for the miscommunications, folks. Um, I'm on the cuff right now because I'm like literally. I gotta, somebody called me when I was in Chicago, and I gotta help out a church in California here at 8 p.m. So I hang out with y'all for about an hour 15 minutes, something like that. But again, thank y'all for the dedication and all this other stuff. Thanks for y'all for reaching out, Mr. Clarence, Francisco. Because at first I was just like, what in the world's going on? And then when I saw another message, I was like, oh. Then I logged online. I'm just like, man, they messed up all my stuff. So anyway, folks, I hope y'all are all doing well. You know, I don't have everything set up like I normally would. I literally just ran upstairs. I got the full video that I edited. I mean, I put together from Chicago, and I got to add the graphics and stuff like that. That was what I was coming upstairs to do after I ate dinner. And then I'm up here. So y'all, you know, I might have y'all tag along while we editing this, but let's see. Let's holler at every folks. I don't know how many people are still on here, but Anthony, hello, hello. Mike, hello, hello. Francisco, hello. Brand 312, hello, hello. Mr. Clarence, how you doing? Dennis, hello. Spotlight Deliverance, how you doing? On both accounts. Creative for Fun, hello, hello. Shane and Hannah, hello. So again, everybody, thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. I got back at 2 p.m. today. And then I went and bought a whole bunch of groceries and stuff like that to get ready for Thanksgiving and trying to fight the traffic because I ain't trying to do nothing. And again, I normally don't get embarrassed, but I'm kind of feeling some type of way. I'm going to only do this for a second. Like that. That's it. So my bridge broke again in Chicago. And when you watch the video when I posted, I'm talking about it. I have a feeling that was going to happen. So I got to figure out how to get my bridge fixed and before Thanksgiving, and then also before all the other stuff that I got going on. But yeah. Man. So I hope y'all are all doing well. AJ the CEO. We try and come to you every Friday, but obviously it is Saturday, so we haven't been able to do that. And where's my... Oh, it saved my it's doing my Uno overlays. There it goes. AJ CEO, we try and come to you every Friday, but obviously we were in Chicago on Saturday. I'll just tell you about the stuff. Chicago it was crazy with Comcast up there. So we ended up, I wanted to show y'all everything, but it looks like something happened at 12:30 in the morning, and all of the Unify stuff is down. I don't know if the internet is down. Comcast says the internet is up, but it says everything is down. So let me see if I can zoom in here. So, and where's my controller? Hold on. I had my speed editor set up to edit. Come on now. Hurry up and come up. Come on now. There we go. And wrong screen. Migrate these over. There we go. So for whatever reason, let's zoom in here. The all of First United Methodist shut down at 1:25 a.m. and it has been off the entire day. I have no idea what in the world is going on with that. So I know they were concerned and reached out to me saying, "Are the magnetic locks still going to work?" They will, as long as everything is still up. Again, I have it hooked up to the anchor, kind of like I have here, and that's rated for running for 18 hours. Um, I don't think the internet is out. I don't think the power is out. I would hope not, because everything was working perfectly fine. I was looking at everything online right before I went to sleep, but I have no idea. But anyway, folks, I hope y'all are all doing well. Again, I don't have all the stuff set up like how I normally would, but just get all the other stuff out of the way. If you're not a part of the Facebook group, folks, go to Facebook, look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, answer 3 questions. You are in like Flynn. We have our roundtable this Sunday, tomorrow at 7 p.m. I may not do a live stream on Friday because we'll just be getting over the Thanksgiving stuff. I mean, I ain't got nothing going on. My daughter's got to get back to her mom. So I don't know. Be on the lookout for the community posts. A lot of stuff's been going on with the YouTube stuff. So I don't know why y'all ain't getting my posts and stuff like that. But if you have, just let y'all know my schedule. This is every year. So I'm going on vacation on the 14th of December. I'll be gone the entire week. I get back, and then that week is going into Christmas, my daughter's birthday, all that other stuff. I'm normally closed. I shut down everything for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks of December. So I'll still be doing videos and maybe some live streams and stuff like that. But pretty much my schedule is maxed out. I have like 3 churches that wanted me to do an install. Only got 1 that came through. But I think I'm supposed to be in Maryland the first week of December. Then going to pop over to Epworth because they want to go ahead and do the intercom, but the intercoms are back ordered through Ubiquity's website. But I'm going to go over there and get some other stuff done. I'm probably going to stay up in Maryland for the day because on the 3rd, I'm going to be speaking at Worship Summit. So I don't want to be driving back and forth and then had to come right back up to Baltimore. So I'll come do the stuff in Annapolis, just get a hotel, stay up there for 2 days, do the stuff for Worship Summit, then go up to Epworth and get that stuff knocked out. Then I'll come back home, and then I'm supposed to be doing another TV install in Guilford. I got a bunch of other stuff I got to do. And just cramming in all the stuff for the next 3 weeks. And then after that, I'm shutting it down. But what else? Anyway, folks, enough of me blabbing. Like I said, I got to get out of here at 7:45 at the latest. So we got about an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes with y'all. So if you got any questions, fire them away. Please start them off with a Q so I can see them easily. And let me where's my screen at? I had my questions up. There they go. If you have any questions, just send them off, and that way I can fire away. If not, I can always, take y'all on a journey to see about me editing the video from everything that was in Chicago. So y'all can see all the fun, frustration, and joy that we had going on there. Mike was saying, finally got remote wake on LAN set up today because people kept putting computers to sleep. Now I can wake them up. Yeah, I did the same thing. I set my motherboard BIOS that once a power loss is to always bring my computer back up, and then I have my computer on a CASA plug. So if I kill the power to the CASA plug, it can make it come right back. Hey, Francisco, I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know what it was. Trying to adjust stuff when I was in Chicago and all this other stuff, it just kind of messed up my whole schedule and things like that. But I appreciate y'all reaching out. Very few people do, so that's why I say I appreciate the fact that y'all do. But like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. And I'll still keep y'all rolling. Let's change this to a different one, so it makes it easier for me to read. Are you serious? My pedal's not working? Come on. There it goes. Let's take you on a journey. Let's do our Elgin stuff. And I changed my resolution, so DaVinci Resolve is acting up. Let me close this out. And I need to shave my head. So what's going on with y'all? Do y'all have any big plans for those who got Thanksgiving coming up next week? What y'all got? I'm cooking some. Family's gonna be here. First time my family's here at the house. I'm doing the vegetables, pie, hosting. Got some wings, asparagus, pasta salad. That's what I'm cooking. Then everybody else is doing some other stuff. Dave Thomas 4070. How to eliminate the echo my vMix call guest is hearing. That's the correct setting. What's the correct setting to use? Use it. I also want to talk to the guest. You need to change the audio output. So first off, how are they listening? I haven't done vMix call in a minute, but you can choose what they're going to hear. Are they hearing the program? Because if they're hearing the program, they're going to be hearing themselves and the program out, which is giving an echo. So that's kind of like a mix minus what you want to hear. You don't want them to hear themselves, or you want them to hear the program. You don't want them to hear both. You need to set up a audio mix for that. And I don't have vMix on this computer, so I can't show you what that setting is. I might need to do that in another video standalone to do that. Getting the house clean. Hey, I'm trying to do the same thing, cleaning up my daughter's room because she didn't, doing her clothes, washing all my clothes from coming back from Chicago, all that other fun stuff. All right, so we'll do Elgin November. Now, I actually already did, like I said, I did this video. I made the video in the hotel. And I'm trying to move this to the right monitor so y'all can see it. I keep moving it to the wrong one. There we go. And I hate when this is my 4K monitor, so it makes it's easy for me to see, but it's super tiny for y'all. And I don't want this in a dual screen. Hold on. Yeah, I just want this on this, and good gosh, that is so tiny. All right, so I have, again, now this video is super long. I'm going to cut it because I just put all 6 days back to back. There it goes. Let's see, my resolution is off. So when I'm clicking my mouse and all this other stuff, it's all over the place. No, sir. I got back here to Richmond at 2 p.m. Anthony was saying, what do I need to do to stop the ATEM from flashing on live? Well, first off, what's your upload speed? The flashing is either the connection going to where you're streaming to, or your stream setting is too high for the upload speed that you have. And what is that? Mr. Richard, hello. William, what is your opinion on free show? I have that. I haven't had a time to sit down and play around with it. A lot of people say it's good. It's still lacking some features, but I kind of want to, have a distraction-free sit down and mess with it type of thing. So other than that, I am just going off of what people have told me from that. So looking at this video right now, if you can see it, it is 3 hours long. So, do I have my audio coming through here? Plaster. I'm going to go to the different Home Depot or Lowe's to make sure they have that. Yeah, y'all should be able to hear that. And I switched out the handles. They were going to have Vince do that. But I'm like, I'm already here. So I switched that out. So I got a lot of stuff done. And that was when I did my live stream from on the roof and all this other stuff. So all the video is there. I just don't have my graphics or nothing put in place. So obviously I'm going to chop this up completely. Oh, you you were saying this is the video. Yes, sir, it is. So hold on, let me see. There you go. There you go right there. And I said go. So there you go. Yeah, I'm watching you live, sir. Yeah, I know. That's where I see it. I was talking about. Nah. I'm you know what, normally I don't do this. Normally I really don't do this. But maybe this needs to be a mixture of a Q&A, a discussion, where my headspace is, and give you kind of a one person's perspective, put my head on the chopping block, and we just talk about some stuff that we normally would talk about in a round table. And I'm going to be real candid with y'all. Going on next year, I would have been doing this, running my company and everything like this for... Oh, hold on 1 second. Hold on. I think somebody's at the door. Hold on 1 second. Okay, never mind. That was next door. I've been doing this for 10 years. And I think it's good to reevaluate and look back, at least for me, when I look back at what I'm doing. And I'm not trying to get emotional about it. I talked to Bishop Daniel about this. I've talked to Francisco about it. I think I may have talked to Anthony about it as well, too. This is all I've done for 10 years. And sometimes, real talk, I really, 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 really do appreciate that y'all reach out and y'all call and talk and stuff like that. But sometimes I wonder, is what I'm doing important? And I know this sounds crazy, but I was like, honestly, I do, because it's like sometimes when you're doing all this other stuff, when you're hearing people at a distance saying thank you and, you know, we appreciate you and stuff like that. And I'm trying to make this full circle with your media ministry. Some of y'all are working y'all's tails off at your media ministry, and external people are giving you kudos, showing appreciation, showing all this other stuff like that. And sometimes when you don't hear a lot of that stuff, at least for me, I sit back and I have to sit back and evaluate myself. I sit back and I'm like, God, am I still on the right path? God, are you still pleased with what I'm doing? Am I doing what you want me to do? Have I veered off and I'm doing this for myself? You know, I honestly ask myself that stuff. I don't know if y'all do that. I don't know if I'm wrong for doing that. I just want to know. I just want God to be happy with what I'm doing. I want to know, am I doing what he wants me to do? Am I on the right path? Because I don't want to go years down my life and then, because I'm going on 48 next year, and there's a lot of things, desires in my heart that have not happened, and I keep myself focused, working and helping y'all, because if I don't, honestly, I'd get very depressed with a lot of stuff that's going on. And I don't know, maybe I'll need to talk about that. Let me answer y'all's questions. My bad. Richard, are you in your usual settings? There's a bit of whining sound in the audio. Yeah, I am. I haven't had a chance to tweak it like I normally did because I just ran upstairs. Normally, before I do my live stream, I test everything, my audio and all this other stuff. It could be my keyboard because that's still on. Let me turn that off because that might be doing something. Ernesto, hello. DM91637. When you connect the laptop to the ATEM, do you typically use laptop screen as screen A and extend to B into the ATEM, or do you mirror? I never mirror unless I really have to. I normally have my laptop be my main screen and then screen B that's meant for outputting stuff. That's what I have go to the ATEM. That's how I normally have mine set up. Brian Jones, hello, sir. Yeah, it's interesting. So let me go back to what I was talking about. Yeah, it must have been the keyboard. I had it turned off. It's on into my mixer. That's probably what it was, because I was dabbling, trying to figure out some stuff for praise and worship and practicing for choir rehearsal. So what I got to figure out how to get to this dentist, because we're going to be doing an implant over here. And the fact that this bridge is broken twice, I'm thinking about getting implants right here and have that put in. But the dental insurance and all this other stuff here in the United States is a racket. I have dental insurance. I actually just, most of the time, my stuff, I just pay out of the pocket, out of the stuff. So I ended up finally getting some dental insurance, but it's like it doesn't kick in for a whole 12 months. So I was like, what's the point? But I don't know. I'll come back to the comments I was saying. Anthony, that's remote into my system at church, and upload speed is 11. Okay, that's the upload speed. Now, what do you have your ATEM set at? With that, I would switch the upload speed. If you're streaming directly from the ATEM, which it sounds like you are, I would change that to low. Maybe push it for medium. But at that rate, medium or low is what, if you're streaming from the ATEM, you need to be on something like that. Brian, since we have the Q&A tonight, are you still planning on roundtable? Yes, sir. We are still having the roundtable tomorrow. I actually have to go to a church tomorrow that they're having some issues, so I'm going to sit in with their church service and then meet up with them after service. They're actually up the street from my old house. So I'm going to go and do that. Just need to find some new areas to hang out with or whatever. Let's see. Back to DM91637. For screen B, do you use a splitter so it goes to a monitor and to the ATEM, or do you send screen B to the ATEM and then have the monitor fed through the ATEM? Well, it depends what you're trying to do. I don't need a splitter like that, because when I have my computer hooked up to the ATEM, that I don't need to see that second output. I look at the multi-view for it. But what are you trying to accomplish with that? So, I mean, now I've understood that if you wanted to have like Antioch, they used to have that, because for whatever reason, they couldn't see the big 100-inch projector. So what we did is we had the other monitor, the second monitor was duplicated to the ATEM and locally. So they would see locally what would be sent out from ProPresenter. That would be the same thing that would go on the screen. But what is your setup? Scott, hello. I don't know. I'm just... Normally, like when I tell y'all around this time is when I shut down business just to rest, because I push. I mean, like I said, just like y'all say y'all have y'all's jobs, everybody, it's like this is what I do every day, on again, off again. It's like Sunday every single day. And what's the nicest way I can say this? Sometimes working with God's people can be frustrating. And especially, it's one thing to have to deal with it one day a week, but to have to do it all the time, it pushes you to your limits. And sometimes I get that way. That's why sometimes I need to take a break. Sometimes I need to get away, but I don't know. What is this? Oh, that's my mouse bottom. I don't know. I just sit back and I just want to make sure. I guess I don't know if I'm putting too much on myself, because I sit back and I see churches and I see that they're struggling and I see the stuff that they're doing. And I think the hardest thing it is, especially, just call it what it is, especially churches here locally that I know, it's like I know I can help, but it's like I'm not allowed to help. So it's like I'm sitting, seeing people falling downstairs in slow motion. And I'm like, I'm trying to help you. But it's like a lot of people don't want my help locally. And most of the time, that's why like we travel a lot, because, you know, like they say, it's like, hold on wait a minute. He said, how do we send your questions? Just type them in here. If you have any other questions other than that, you would send it questions at AJhomes.com. That's what you would do. Pastor Rob, hello. We already got that covered. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I see, that's the thing. I sometimes being a preacher's kid and going through church and growing up, all this other stuff, and I try to be real transparent. That's what we talk about with the roundtables. And I'm not trying to negate what you just said, Pastor Rob. I'm not trying to say that at all. But going back to the same talk I did at the conference, the same talk I'm going to be doing at Worship Summit is talking about your broadcast network. And that evolves into the fact that why are people having, this is my personal opinion, because this is where I'm at. Why do I get frustrated at church? Because a lot of times people in sermons and everything like that, the content that's coming out from a church is like I'm floating, levitating on a cloud, or some sweet day when you gone, life is going to be great. And again, I'm not trying to say that everything needs to be unicorn farts and rainbows and all this other stuff all the day, but it's hard for me as somebody who grew up in church, read the Bible, does this stuff, does the best he can to try and live a life as best as I possibly can. I'm not perfect, but I try to do the best. But when you're going through issues and you go to a church, you try to talk to somebody about it. And again, please don't take this personally. I'm just based off what you said. Sometimes we're so quick to fire off a scripture at people that we never listen to the situation. Like I remember, like I think I told you about it. My daughter was saying, Daddy, the reason I asked to take my phone and my tablet to church because it's boring. They're trying to force something that the teacher is comfortable with instead of making it applicable so that kids can see, how do I apply God? How do I apply this Bible in my situation right now? So, you know, that's why I really, if I had to beat around the YouTube bush with what I'm talking about, when I say recommend that y'all churches outside of your church service, the church service and your Bible study, can I be real candid? It ain't helping in the grand scheme. It's not helping because there's too much of a stigma on church services. Because first off, it's long, it's boring. That's what the people that we're trying to reach are, the ones who don't want to come to church. So how do we create something that appeases to them? Meaning we need to meet them where they're at. If they want to sit down and talk and they cussing up a storm, but they are able to just have somebody listen to them and they're talking about it, I think more stuff like that is needed, because what we're trying to do is force people into our way of doing content in church services and what comes from the church, instead of trying to meet their need where they're at. Like, you know, somebody's like saying, you know, I'm hungry. Well, you know, God will provide. He said, no. That's great. But they said they're hungry. Feed them. physically give them something to handle this, to handle the issue that they have. And that speaks more volumes of how you're living the scripture instead of just maybe I'm talking too much. Let me get back to y'all's questions. Hello, I wanted to ask, how can I make SuperSource if I have a ATEM 1ME and an ATEM Mini Pro? Can I use them to make a SuperSource? No, you cannot. The ATEM Mini Pro does not have that ability to do that, and I don't know which ATEM 1ME you have. Well, actually, no, let me take that back. The 1ME does not support either one of those. You would have to do something with a DVE or picture-in-picture and do something like that. But the SuperSource that we know, neither one of those support those. I'm just trying to figure out how many monitors I need and how will be hooked up. 2 workloads, a ProPresenter operator, and a video switcher. Well, that sounds like you just need to have the person who's running the ProPresenter, they have their overlay, they have their output that they're going to see in ProPresenter right there. So they're going to see what's going out already in the program. Their output is going to go into the ATEM, and the video operator is going to be able to see that in their multi-view, so they'll be able to pick. So you don't need to have multiple monitors. You would just have the operator on ProPresenter, then have a monitor for the multi-view, and maybe the monitor that goes out to the output that would be for the congregation, your projectors, your TVs, or whatever, and the video operator is going to be looking at the multi-view. So in that scenario, I would just say 2. That's just me. Tara, hello. Back to Bishop Daniel. What are the dates for the next conference? We haven't picked them yet. It's most likely going to be in July, possibly. Explain a bit. I see many streamers have multiple monitors, but with one switcher. How do they hook up those other monitors, display different things, but using one switcher? Because that's not in that scenario. And it also depends. I mean, that's a wide question. That could be multiple things. Like, for example, so like in this example, like here's my setup. But again, I have multiple monitors, but they have nothing to do with the ATEM. The only thing that y'all see that's in the ATEM, I have this screen duplicated that is going to the ATEM. Everything else is my normal setup. Now, when you're talking about multiple monitors, we need to have some context of what that is. So I have, if I go back over here, there's my multi-view. That's coming from the ATEM right there. And that shows all my cameras that are going into that. That's the only other monitor. I used to have a TV on the wall when I was renting a place, but in here, I don't have it here. But then I have other screens back here in my output that's going over here to my vMix system. There's another monitor that's sending the output from my ATEM to that. So that would be kind of like the output that's going to your projectors, your TVs, or something like that in the sanctuary. Most of the time, it depends on your video switcher. My ATEM can only have 2 outputs. It's either going to be, 3 outputs. You got a USB output. You have HDMI output number 1, which is the audience display of what everybody's seeing, what you're seeing right now, and then my multi-view. That's it. Now, it depends on the other monitors. If you have like an ATEM 1ME, I believe that has 8 to 10 programmable outputs that it can almost do almost anything. So if you have a switcher like that, then yeah, you can, I think at Good Shepherd, that's what I have there. And I have outputs for the digital walls. I have ones for the back TV. I have one for the ATEM. I have one for downstairs. You can program any of that stuff. But again, need a little bit more information on exactly which one you have in that setup. But again, there's multiple ways. I've set them up that way. At some churches here, I have a simple setup for me. I just have a multi-view and I have the main out. Eric and Hannah, hello, you have good stuff today. Mountain Dew is my go-to. If you only knew. If you only knew. It's because the tradition of the church is in the way of itself. Very much so. You are doing more than you think. You care, you show up, and that matters, but you're not meant to fix every need. Even Jesus didn't heal everyone around, and he moved with his purpose, not pressure. I mean, I try. I really do, man. Dakota County made some people are so heavenly. Rod, your recommendation between vMix and OBS. OBS for simplicity, and if you want it to be free. vMix if you want a lot of stuff that OBS can do with plugins, but you want naturally built into it. That's what I would say. Again, I stick with OBS. I moved to vMix so that I can learn it. And a lot of the stuff that's built in that I can do with plugins with OBS, like OBS still can't do this the way I really like. And that's the reason I like vMix for that. I got vMix, the $60 version, and then it only gave me 4 inputs. And then I moved to the HD version, which was $300. I have not paid another dime since then for that because I was kind of grandfathered into that plan and I get the upgrades. They do have the monthly version. So personally, I would say try out vMix for a month. It's like, I think it's $30 or less than that. Try it out and see. But most of the time, if I have people, I get them on OBS because that's the easier barrier of entry. And if you can figure out OBS, because I use OBS for so long, you'll know what it can and can't do. So when you move to another one, you'll know all the basics of what you need. That's my personal opinion. Are you aware of any application that exists or is in development for making macros for the ATEM switchers? I have some macros I need to make, would rather start it at home, tweak it at church. I mean, technically, they're all XML based. You could write them out yourself, but I'm not aware of anything like that. Have you used a Zoe box as an NDI decoder to output NDI? No, I have not. I'm trying to convert 2 PTZ NDI streams into HDMI inputs. No, I haven't. I've heard of them. I personally have not worked with them. So what's the issue that you're having? Are you not getting anything? What's the color spectrum that's coming out? Is it RGB? Is it, what's the color that's coming out of it? That could be it sometimes. And I think I answered that question already. Yeah, I think that's a couple of things. What else we got going on? I think I got another video switcher that I need to review. That was from AVCam, so I'll try and do that next week. I haven't forgot, y'all. I am going to give the PTZ Optics SE Move away with the second giveaway for hitting 70,000. I know we're getting ready to hit 71,000. But it's just been so much stuff. And then add on top of dental stuff and all this other stuff going on. It's a lot to try and balance all this other stuff. And I'm tired. That's the best way I can say it. I'm tired. And that's why I decided to be like, try to be an adult and be responsible with my finances. But I'm like, I need to take a break. So that's the only reason why. And personally, I don't like going on cruises by myself at this time. I mean, because this is going to be cruise number 27. And I really enjoy cruises because it's very economical. I ain't have to worry about the food and entertainment and stuff like that. Never mind. I'll keep that comment to myself. Do you know how the mix minus works on the Constellation 2ME? I've messed with the Constellation 2ME, but when I messed with that, that's what I installed in TCF. It did not have a mix minus. Most of the time, the mix minus is actually going to come from your mixer. Are you sending all your audio directly into the Constellation? Henry, kids are asking for financial education. We all need to be reminded of delayed gratification. Maybe churches can focus on these topics and what is trending on social media except success. My daughter did that to me the other day, and I was just like, what the? Now I was starting to feel old. I was like, what? I was like, okay. But no, I mean, my whole thing about it is, it's like, and I've said it so many times before, the church has become this restaurant that is known for only serving one thing. They want to reach a wider audience, but they refuse to put more stuff on their menu that more people might be interested in. So what the church is like, we're biscuits and gravy, and you should like biscuits and gravy. You younger people should love biscuits and gravy. Oh, you don't like biscuits and gravy? Then there's something the matter with you. Oh, you've already bust hell wide open because you don't like biscuits and gravy. That's the thing. The church is trying to demand people to listen to something that they're not getting anything out of, instead of the church being flexible enough to be like, how can we take this message and meet people where they're at and show how this scripture is applicable to what's going on right now, instead of it being like, these are the things that I know, and I'm not trying to learn nothing else, and I'm just going to keep regurgitating the same thing over and over and over again and demand people like what I'm giving, you know? Hey, I think the West are going to be there as well too, so we're gonna cut up. And I'll let, well, I won't see him probably until choir rehearsal, possibly, next week, because we got choir rehearsal because of Thanksgiving. Choir rehearsal is going to be Tuesday and Thursday, and we were already, and I'm turning the keyboard on, so if you hear that hum, it's probably from that, because we were practicing for choir rehearsal. So what is that? And I don't have my other camera set up. Hold on. Yet. All right, where's my camera? It's not on yet. Come on now. It's still starting up. Oh, there it goes. So there's that one. So we got, come let us adore him, kneel down before him, worship and adore him. Come let us adore him, kneel down before him, worship and adore him. Emmanuel, Emmanuel. So we got that, and we're working on some other stuff. So anyway, Anthony, on the A10, where can I find if I have it set too high? All right, sir, that would be, let's go to Super Source. And here, you would go to the switcher, then output, then you go to live stream, and there's your quality right there. I would change that. Please make sure it's not on HyperDeck. That's for recording. And for whatever reason, that carried over, and it looks like they still haven't fixed that bug. If you have it set to this, it's going to be sending way more than your upload speed can ever handle. So in yours, I would say start streaming on low and see how that's working. And you're saying Monty started dropping the conferences. Cool. I need to see that. Like I said, I need to work on some of the stuff. How well does the new PowerPoint importer work in ProPresenter? I've lost the battle to mandate staff speakers. I have not messed with it because I don't give them a choice. I mean, and then worst case scenario, I end up migrating it. But thankfully, we don't have people that use the technology anyway. So the only people that do stuff like that would be for Pastor Paul. But most of the time, if he gives it to me and if I'm working on the stuff, I just recreate it. And most of the time, it's like 4, maybe 5 bullet points for a sermon. Anything other than that, most of the time, people don't use the screens, don't use none of that stuff. So I guess they just don't like the technology. Good day from Australia. Awesome. Thank you for joining. Nice to catch you live. Hope you're doing great. You know what? I really want to come to Australia. One of my dreams, I mean, I went to London, went to Ireland. One of my dreams is I've always wanted to go to Sydney Music Hall. Then I also want to see New Zealand, go visit there and stuff like that. Maybe I might push myself to do something like that next year. Worst case, my 50th. I want to go to Australia. But thank you for stopping by. I had a couple of churches I was helping out that way. I need to check back in with them to see how they're doing. But what else y'all got going on? Do y'all have any good stuff, service stuff, or your, like Anthony, I saw you were doing a whole bunch of stuff. What are y'all doing community wise? Are y'all doing anything out there? And I'm trying to juggle two things at the same time. Look at Monty's stuff, and I want to see what he got going on with the interviews. Monty. Okay, I got you. Sweet, sweet. Yeah. Let me jump back on the other stuff. Check it out. Tab, the last field in the section. All right, gotcha. Parker, hello. Yeah, so I mean, honestly, the nerd part of me is what I do is record a macro and then download it and then look at the syntax of it. And then, I mean, that's the programmer in me. You can sit there and you can kind of code your own stuff as well too. What was I was thinking? There was something else I was gonna do. I'm drawing a blank here because I still, like I said, I still got to go in here and do edit this long video. Again, I'm going to split this up into days. It's on my laptop. I need to upload the project and download all the files that are on the computer, move that to my NAS so I can move everything over. I'll probably do 5 videos of this. Actually, I'm going to do 6. I would do the long video if people want to watch the whole thing. But I'll do each day. Some of the days are short because, like I said, it was frustrating on some of those days. So you see me up there being on the roof. And thankfully, it won't even nowhere close to how high it really was. I don't even have a shot of everything. We really did clean up a lot of stuff up there. I need to edit that video. I'll tell you, that's another thing, man. Now I know I'm preaching to the choir when it comes to this. I'm gonna tell y'all about that on the round table because I don't know who's watching this, and I could be petty. I used to be. I still can be if you push me the wrong way, but I'm gonna save that for the round table, because I'm telling you, Creative for Fun, Pastor Rob, Anthony, I'm gonna send you a message after this, so I can get to that. But hey folks, like I said, my apologies. I don't know what was going on with this. Please make sure also, because YouTube is doing its thing again, please make sure that that you're subscribed to the channel, because for whatever reason, they've been unsubscribing some people from an update, or make sure that you have your notification on. That way that you get notified when I do posts or videos. Because I did post right before I got on the plane. That's when I decided I made a post saying, hey, I'm not going to actually do the stuff because I'm tired. And then, no, I moved it back. And then when I landed, I was like, nah, I'm out of it. But I made that post, but for whatever reason, it seemed like a lot of stuff didn't go through. But I just know, folks, I really appreciate y'all. Y'all have no idea. I know I say that a lot. You really have no idea. But I really appreciate y'all being here, y'all chiming in, y'all reaching out, all that other fun stuff. I really, 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 really do. Anthony, I'm gonna give you a secret. I'm gonna give you a snippet, and I could get in trouble for this. I really don't care. Um, Now let me rephrase it. I've been told by, how can I even say this the way? Because I mean, it was so stupid when I heard it. I was told by a little birdie that, why do y'all, this person was talking to it at church, why do y'all keep reaching out to AJ? Like, y'all have way too much confidence in him. That's a new one. What's on your Black Friday list this year? Car note, house note. That's what's on my Black Friday list. Nothing. we got to conserve some. I mean, well, now I would say 4 teeth implants. That would be on my Black Friday list if I can get that for sale. But yeah, I mean, no, that was a snippet right there. I was told that some of the negative Nancys are saying, why do y'all keep reaching out to AJ to ask him for help with his stuff, with our church stuff? Like, y'all count on him too much, and y'all ask him too much. He don't know all the stuff that he claims to know. I don't profess to be some super genius. I don't profess to do that. I just try to help. The difference between me and other people is I try to help. Other people just run their mouth. Or like military say, they just run. I can't even say it that way because I might get in trouble for that. I mean, it wasn't derogatory. But how did they say, like in boot camp, they're like, instead of running your mouth, they're like, you just run. No, I'm not going to say it that way because it can be taken out of context. But I mean, I'm telling you, man, it's. You talk about negative Nancy's, doubting Debbie's, and stupid Stevens. That's my one. The stupid Steven. Look, it's not even stuck on stupid. I remember this other guy, Dave Severin. He said, "Life is hard, but when you're stupid, it's twice as hard." That was my favorite. It's my favorite. Let me see. Well, I appreciate it. Like I said, Mike, I was able to convert our church directory from its printed form into a digital VCF format using ChatGPT so people can import that into their phones. You can't do that. That's not how they did it in the Bible times. Why didn't you take out a stone tablet and carve it? I always reach out to the one that taught me. I don't know anything in the field, but if I'm going to be I'm going to ask me. Look, I appreciate that. I mean, it's just like my whole thing is this. This is the last I'm going to say about it for right now. And this is what I say. And we had a shirt, and I might need to come up with a new design and bring this back out. I said this to the same person who was saying these comments. I don't have to do it. If you know so much, why don't you do it? And then I don't have to. Instead of complaining, why don't you volunteer to fix it? Well, I don't have the time to do it. Then shut your mouth. Sit down and shut up. Get out of the way who the people who can do it. If all you're going to do is sit back and complain and talk about how something can't get done, sit down, shut up, get out of the way of the people who are getting it done. That's the non-Christian way of me saying it. Oh, I know. Hey, AJ, which power conditioner do you recommend? Normally what is the name of that? Hold on, I just ordered, it's on the tip of my tongue, but let me look through my order. Because I added some, it's a Furman surge protectors and power conditioners. Those are the ones I would recommend. And let me find it. Come on now. Furman power conditioner, not for your hair. Yeah, so I ordered a couple of these a couple of weeks ago. I did that for some other ones. They got bigger ones, but I'll put a link to this one for there if you are interested. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave that. I appreciate it, y'all. Like I said, I appreciate it. I really do. More than you have any idea. You know what? And on that, let me get this last one. From Uganda, but have learned to do a lot of the streaming through your channel in some years. I appreciate it. Again, I appreciate it. I really do, folks. Look, y'all messed me up, so I'm gonna take my leave of y'all, and we'll continue this. If you've never been to one of the roundtables, folks, I highly recommend that you join that. All the information's on the Facebook page. Answer the 3 questions. Look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, and we get into a lot of stuff there. Again, folks, like I'm not just saying this to try and sound all cute and stuff like that. When the reason the comments that y'all say mean a lot to me, and this is what I say. If y'all are in leadership, you're any type of position in your media ministry, if you're a minister, if you're a pastor, take the dang blasted time to tell your media ministry people, the volunteers, thank you. Tell them that you appreciate the stuff that they do. Not just because it's a routine for you to do, say it. And I'm not trying to blast anybody. I'm just trying to be real. There are so many times that there's so much stuff that I do for many different ministries. I don't do it for the pat on the back because I sure as heck don't get it. I do it because it's the right thing to do, but that gets draining. Because sometimes it feels like you're doing the right thing. Like I started off with this. I do this because I want to help people, but I have to learn to stop giving so much because a lot of people take and they take and they take and they take, and it leaves me with nothing. And the fact they take so much and they don't even say a thank you. They don't say anything. It makes it. Maybe it's not y'all. Maybe I need to work on my self-confidence or something. But sometimes it makes me feel like, is it something wrong with me that I'm just so gullible that people can just use and take and stuff like that? And then, they gaslight you to where you feel like it's wrong when you ask people to say, tell me that you appreciate what I'm doing, something like that. So I don't know. But anyway, take the time to tell your people, thank you. They might not be doing everything, but at least you ain't got to do it all by yourself. Take a time to tell them thank you. If you're in a leadership position in your media ministry, even if you're not, tell the other people there, the people who are running the media. If you have a director, tell them thank you. for keeping the stuff organized. Show appreciation for the stuff, because I promise you, you don't want to take everything on yourself. If you got somebody else there that's working with you side by side, even if it's another person, show them that they appreciate it. Pastors, ministers, whoever, and yes, I am calling y'all out. Take the time to have a media ministry appreciation day, because you wouldn't be able to do half the stuff you're doing in the last 5 years if it wasn't for the hardworking, dedicated people who have given their money, their blood, sweat, and tears, been signing up for YouTube University, watching my channel, all these other channels, to help move the ministry forward, especially moving ministries forward when they're fighting an uphill battle with people who want to stay on the plateau and do nothing. That is draining, to try and encourage what we can do when they're content with doing nothing. You know? I have my whole team watching videos. Again, I appreciate it. Mom's video, using 3 PTCs most likely will not upgrade to screen on the PTC screen is small. Thinking about an ultra-wide monitor and using IP addresses to split all 3 on the ultra-wide. I mean, it's possible, but you would really need to have those things in sync so that they would perfectly lined up. I bugged you so much when I was building my first computer. You know, I was thinking about you the other day, Anthony. It's like, man, I think we need to have, you know, I might just pop in after I get these teeth and all these extra expenses. You never know. I might just pop in your church one day. And I'd love to just do a video of like breaking down the importance of trying to teach, just kind of like that same video of the importance of like how much confidence. And like I said, I'll say this right now, because just taking my own words, I'm so proud of the stuff that Anthony's doing. I remember that video of me and him going back and forth talking, and found out both of us were like, man, you had the mini monitor and the mini recorder. The fact that the confidence that you have now that you're able to help and bless so many different ministries by building that computer, just to be able to show a system being built. But what did you learn in the process about that? I really do that. Want to think about that. Do we need to write it down? Because can definitely say we're all. Hey, again, man, man, that's the only thing. I try to rest, but like I said, body wake up at 3 o'clock. I be fighting to try to go to sleep. Yeah, he does. And again, just to let y'all know, I'm not a member at Antioch. I'm really not a member anywhere. That has been my prayer for a while, to find some place where I can just sit and get poured into. Because a lot of times, and this isn't bragging, this is just the downside of this. Most of the time, if I go anywhere, when people know who I am, I'm either asked to sing, I'm either asked to play, or I'm either asked to help out with the media. It's like to sit down and just do. And then for whatever reason, places I have been able to do that, something has happened to where it's like I just don't feel comfortable. I kind of, situations push me out. So I don't know what that is. How do you even run those overlays on screen? It's awesome. That's all vMix. That's why I was saying vMix has this built in, so it didn't have to do that. Hey, we tried to. Well, again, I'm glad that something I've done has benefited. Just wish people locally would pay attention to that. Did I say that out loud? No, I think that was somebody else's voice that said that. Anyway, folks, like I said, I appreciate it. I'm going to try and take about 45 minutes to get my head straight before I got to go do some diagnostics for a church out in Chicago. I mean, not in Chicago, in California. And then I'm still trying to see what's going on with the stuff in Chicago, why their stuff is down all of a sudden. Thank you again. I really, really appreciate it. Um, I'm gonna do these last two, and then I'm gonna be up out of here. I feel the same way. It's either come for see, and that's the thing that really need to be able to, and that was the reason why I did the e-missionary cruise and was trying to do the e-missionary vacation, because I don't know, sometimes I just feel powerless, because I mean I know you're not supposed to talk about this stuff, but I mean, I sit back and look at some of these folks on YouTube and see they getting all these sponsorships, they getting all this money, they doing all this other stuff, and I'm just like, God, why in the world haven't put me in a position to where I'm making $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month? Do you know what I can do with that? I mean, I take everything I have right now to try and help ministries right now, like. Like one a recent install, I'm not going to tell you who it was. The install that I did, I think I charged them like maybe $25,000 to do it. The next closest company, after I finished, this is what I was told. The next closest company that proposed to do the same thing but was only going to do half of what I did was going to charge 4 times more than what I charged them. $100,000 for half of what I did for 25,000. And I'm sitting here like, I sit back like, man, if I was getting $100,000, and why does it say live from? Oh, I didn't take the live from Elgin out of here. I sit back and like, man, do you know how much I could actually do if I wasn't sitting here trying to count pennies to make sure all this other stuff? And that's honestly, that's the frustrating thing with me. Like, see, I'm blabbing too much. Let me get these last ones. So any recommendations for a laser projector that can present to via Ethernet? Current projector is VGA. Yeah, I mean, any of the projectors that HD base T, that's the one that you can send over Ethernet. HD base T is a different protocol where you can send it up to 500 feet. The Sony projectors that I installed at Antioch 5 years ago does that. Just look for any laser projector that has HD base T, and it can do it that way. If it wasn't that far to drive, I would. Ever shows up in my church, you'll get a tour of the booth and network closet and then find a new pew. Hey, I would appreciate that. There's a couple of people in our Facebook group that use those. And my phone is going off. So I think that's my call to go. Take care of yourself, AJ. I appreciate it. Hey, again, thank y'all. I really do. And I think this was my email that's telling me I need to go jump on doing something else. Oh, yeah, the roundtable is going to be serious, folks. So we'll see y'all at 7 p.m. Eastern if you're able to join. Again, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. I really, really do. This ain't YouTube talk. This isn't, I really do. Y'all do not know how many times, like I said, the only reason I keep doing this is because I know that there's somebody, y'all might not be local, but there's somebody else counting on it. And I have to keep thinking about that. And then I also sit back and think, I don't want my daughter to ever look back and be like, my dad was a quitter. And then, I hope that it's like, when I get to the end of my life, it's like, I find out that it's like, hey, you actually did the most that you could with what I gave you. In spite of all the stuff that was going on, you still persisted. When everybody else stopped, when all the hell came into your life, all this other stuff, you persisted. Not just to brag about it, but you did the right thing. That's my call. But anyway, folks, I don't have all the bells and whistles and all this other stuff like that normally do. But again, thank you, Patreon supporters. Thank you all, YouTube members. Thank you all. Now, even if you're not either one, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching my channel. Thanks for getting something out of it. Thank you for letting me pour into y'all and help you in any way I was able to. Again, I appreciate it. I hope you have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. If y'all on the roundtable, I'll see you there. All the information is in the Facebook group. Like I said, go to Facebook, look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy. Let me get ready for my meeting, and then I'm going to sleep. All right, folks. Thank y'all. We'll see y'all later.